Breaking Mzansi Insider reports. President Cyril Ramaphosa has once again found himself at the center of a political storm, after acknowledging that many South Africans want him to skop and honor those accused of wrongdoing. However, the president was quick to stress that the rule of law simply does not allow such impulsive action, a response that has sparked both understanding and frustration across the country. At the heart of the controversy are allegations involving Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, which have intensified pressure on Ramaphosa from opposition parties demanding swift and decisive action. Critics argue that the president's measured approach reflects a pattern of hesitation, especially when serious allegations of corruption or misconduct emerge within government ranks. Supporters, on the other hand, maintain that Ramaphosa is upholding due process in a constitutional democracy, where decisions must be guided by evidence rather than public outrage. But this moment is about more than just one minister. It taps into a deeper and more persistent question: why does leadership in South Africa often appear slow or cautious in the face of corruption allegations? For many citizens, the frustration lies not only in the accusations themselves, but in what they see as a lack of urgency in holding powerful figures accountable. This perception was sharply captured in a viral moment when businessman Rob Hussov openly criticized Ramaphosa, calling him a spineless failure. While controversial, Hussov's remarks resonated with a segment of the public that believes the president's leadership style leans too heavily toward caution and consensus, rather than bold, decisive action. That criticism has now resurfaced, feeding into the current debate around policing, accountability, and political will. At the same time, speculation is growing about the future of leadership within the ANC. Names like Patrice Motsepe have been quietly mentioned in discussions about potential successors or challenges. As pressure mounts on President Cyril Ramaphosa, the issue is no longer just about what action he can take, but what action South Africans believe he is willing to take. The gap between legal restraint and public expectation is widening, and it is quickly becoming a political liability. Opposition parties have seized the moment, accusing the president of hiding behind legal processes to avoid making tough decisions. They argue that leadership is not only about respecting the law, but also about demonstrating urgency, moral authority, and the willingness to act decisively in times of crisis. For them, the continued presence of controversial figures in key positions signals weakness rather than wisdom. Inside the ANC itself, the situation is equally complex. Ramaphosa must navigate internal alliances, factional dynamics, and the ever-present risk of political backlash. Acting too quickly could alienate key supporters within the party, while moving too slowly risks eroding public trust even further. It is a delicate balancing act, one that has defined much of his presidency. Meanwhile, the broader issue of policing in South Africa continues to deteriorate in the eyes of many citizens. Rising crime rates, allegations of corruption, and declining confidence in law enforcement have created a sense of insecurity that amplifies every political misstep. In this context, the controversy around Police Minister Senzo Mchunu becomes symbolic of a much larger crisis, one that touches on safety, governance, and the state's ability to protect its people. The resurfacing of Rob Hussov's harsh criticism adds another layer to the unfolding drama. While some dismiss his comments as exaggerated or politically motivated, others see them as a reflection of growing frustration among business leaders and ordinary citizens alike. The question being asked more openly now is whether Ramaphosa's leadership style, often described as cautious and consensus-driven. South Africa is at a critical turning point, and President Cyril Ramaphosa finds himself under intense scrutiny. What began as controversy around Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has now grown into a broader debate about leadership, accountability, and public trust. Many South Africans are growing increasingly frustrated with what they see as slow or hesitant action when serious allegations arise. While Ramaphosa continues to emphasize the importance of due process and the rule of law, critics argue that decisive leadership is needed now more than ever. The concern is that delays in accountability risk weakening confidence in government institutions. At the same time, discussions around potential future leadership, including speculation about figures like Patrice Motsepe, suggest that uncertainty within the political landscape is growing. Whether these conversations lead to real change or not, they reflect a public that is searching for stronger direction and renewed confidence. However, the deeper issue goes beyond individuals. South Africa's ongoing challenges highlight the need for stronger institutions that can act independently and effectively, without relying on political pressure. The real test is not just leadership style, but whether the system itself can deliver justice and accountability. As this moment unfolds, Ramaphosa faces a crucial choice: maintain his cautious approach or take a more assertive stance that reassures a frustrated nation. Whatever path he chooses, it will play a significant role in shaping both his legacy and the future direction of the country.